morning, welcome to Rocksteady. This is a video that's just purely dedicated to these. Now, since lockdown, my hands have suffered, and they've suffered big time. I can only put it down to excessive amounts of hand washing and sanitising, which we've all been told to do. If we've come in contact with anyone or anything, we've been shopping, don't forget sanitize, wash your hands regularly. Well, that all started to take its toll on me, and this part of my thumb developed quite a nasty callus, and I could feel it constantly, dry and flaky. I started to get it here, but I also got it across this part of this finger and this part of this finger, and it started to appear on these. And I can only, although I dry my hands and the sanitizer dries on your hands, I think it just dries out your hands, and it's obvious really when you think about it. So I started to use just normal hand creams. I had a small one that I kept in my bag, which was a Cath Kidston, and I had this one. And since I moved in here, I did have an Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream, and I knew I had it somewhere, and I had a hand cream one as well, and I couldn't find it, so I did think, oh, maybe I'll order a new one and see what I can do. But to be honest with you, if you don't have any of those things, then there's plenty of things that work just as well. So I've got rid of mine more or less. There is a little bit of amount of, it just feels a little bit rough there now and here. A lot of the callus, the hard skin, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but a lot of it has gone. There it is. See, it's just a slightly more yellow colour than my skin. And again here, this one was worse. This one really did flake. But that there, that, I don't know if I can get it to, let me turn that light off. You might see it. This area here was just a big area of nasty, crusty skin, and it actually did hurt a little bit. I can't say it was agony, but I certainly knew it was there, and I kept doing this with it all the time. So I have one of these. Now, you might not have one of these, and it doesn't matter if you don't, because a pumice stone works just as well. But I have one of these that I always used to use to get my feet sandal ready after the winter, because, you know, in certain tiny areas, right where the end of my big toe is, where the ball of my foot, I used to develop just a little tiny bit of hard skin. So I managed to buy lots and lots of replacement ones of these. These are just the rollers that you put in. I always get the fine ones anyway, and I've dropped one on the floor, but I do have rather a lot. So I changed my roller so that I could use this one on my hands. Don't drop them on the floor, doesn't matter, I'll pick them up in a sec. So that it hadn't been used on my feet. And I have to say, I've used this on my feet for a number of years anyway. But it's just a little micro pedi. Now, you don't have to use one of these or any of these. A little pumice stone works just as well. But all I've been doing is this. Just remove, but be careful, I'll show you on my finger, to use it in this motion, just to, if you hold it still in one place, you will feel like it starts to burn you after a little while. It just gets a little hot, and obviously not a great deal of your skin is covered in hard skin, but I'm not sure if you can see that. A little bit of what looks like smoke, but it's just skin, comes out. And I did it on all of the areas in question, but it's important that you keep it moving, because, as I say, if you hold it in one place, it starts to feel a little bit like burning. And you always like give it a blow, and you can see the skin come out, so you know it is actually working. I don't do it for long. I do it for longer than that, obviously, but I don't do it for very long. But this part here is still quite quite bad for me. So I'll do it for a little bit longer on that area there, just while we talk. And once I've done that, I will then do a bit of an intense moisturise, which is annoying because once I've done it, I can't really do very much for a little while, because the stuff that I use stays on your skin just a little while. Now, you can do it at night. You can do it at night and wear kind of cotton gloves on your hands. Do the intense moisture and put some cotton gloves on. But I, for one, would not sleep if I had that on my hands. I'm not very good at having anything like that on me. So I found, you'll be pleased to know, my Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream. I also have this stuff, which is called Egyptian Magic, and this was sold to me on an aeroplane on the way back from Gran Canaria. I think it was Gran Canaria, it may have been when I went to Vegas, I don't know. But as you can see, it's very thick and I've used lots of it. It's like Vaseline, which you can also use. This one is Nivea lip butter, but normal Vaseline, I do have some somewhere, but I seem to have left that in the other room. But just normal petroleum jelly Vaseline, it works just as good. But if you look, this does look like Vaseline. Doesn't smell like it though. And you just take a piece of this or the Elizabeth Arden, any of them, and just rub them in and kind of insist on those areas. Just rub that a little bit more so than anything else. Just those areas where it's really worse, just intense there. And but don't forget the rest of your hands, because it does feel good. Now this looks like it's got a sheen to it now. It is very much like Vaseline, and I think that petroleum jelly is quite a big part of the ingredients of it, but there is obviously more than that in there, and I'm only using that because I've got it. I also use this Elizabeth Arden, and I'll show you how that is very, very similar. If I've got a hair attached to me now because I'm all gooey. So if I get a little bit of this Elizabeth Arden on my finger, you can see again it's got that kind of waxy feel, and it smells. I don't know, dislike the smell of Elizabeth Arden's 8-hour cream, and the reason I dislike it is because I think it smells like rosemary. Personally, I think it smells like rosemary, but even if I'm using that again, I just make sure I rub it intensely into those areas where it's really worse. And I have to say that by doing this, it is virtually gone, I'm pleased to say, because my hands are my tools. You know, when I'm crocheting, my hands are my tools, and I found the yarn was catching on little areas of hard skin, and it was catching and pulling on it, if you know what I mean. You know, when you've got a little catch on your fingernail, that's what it was doing, but it was doing it on my hands, and it was really making me feel cringy, if you understand what I mean. So that's all I've been doing, and it has improved no end, really. So that I do maybe once or twice a day. And my hands are now really gooey, possibly because I've used two, but even it's the Elizabeth Arden, it stays on your hands for quite a while, so you can't really pick a cup up now, it will slip, but it's well worth doing. Now Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream is expensive. This, along the plane journey, was fairly expensive, so use Vaseline. Use petroleum jelly, just the cheap stuff that you can get from any drugstore. Just use that. That is just as good, believe me. Also, what I've done is now I've been keeping just hand creams in my handbag. This one is moisturising with cocoa butter, and it's for dry skin. So this one is an Avon one. Somebody gave it to me. I think it was Charlotte gave it to me ages ago. That's Gary's daughter, so I'm not her stepmum anymore, I'm her mum. So we've worked that out. So it's kind of nice. So she gave me that one a long while ago. I've got a few all over the house, so wherever I am I can use one. But this stuff is brilliant. This 8-hour cream, it's what it says, it's meant to last 8 hours. So morning and night, I've been doing it, but it is a skin protector. To me it smells like rosemary, but I mean, it's not a disgusting smell, it's not horrible, but it's not what I would... It's definitely got a distinctive smell all of its own. But if you can't stretch to Elizabeth Arden, as I say, just Vaseline, just petroleum jelly. And if you can wear the gloves of a night time, put them on at night. But it's not something that I think I can do. I like to sort of feel soft things with my hands, and I don't. I think it will keep me awake if I've got anything like that on. But yeah, this lockdown has little things that have kind of popped up. I say lockdown, this coronavirus, where we're constantly sanitising. It has taken its toll on my hands anyway, so it's possibly taken its toll on yours. But that's just something that you can do. But if you haven't got a little micro pedi, you know, pumice stone works just as well on those areas. But if you do have one of these, please remember not to keep it in one place too long, because it feels like it burns. It does on your feet too. But always use a different roller for your feet that you use for your hands. So thanks for watching, and stay safe, take care, and get nice soft hands. Bye for now.